and welcome to my channel. My name is Heather, and in today's video I'm going to talk all about breastfeeding must-haves. I found out very quickly as a new mom breastfeeding for the very first time that even though it is a very natural thing, it does not necessarily come naturally, and it can be a little overwhelming knowing what all you need to make it work. So in today's video, I am going to run through the top things that I used almost every single day as a breastfeeding mom, and I am still breastfeeding my now 7.5-month-old, and some of these things I still use even now. So let's get into it. When you first start out breastfeeding, you are brand new to it, and so is your baby. Neither one of you has ever done it before. So it can be challenging figuring out the positioning and all of that kind of thing. So the first thing I wanted to talk about is a breastfeeding pillow. This is the Boppy pillow, and this is the one that I used when my baby was a newborn. When you are first starting out, this can be really helpful just to help you position your baby. It goes right around your waist like this, and then your baby just goes right here in your lap, and it is so much easier. You have that support. You're not having to completely support baby with your arm or with your hand, and it just makes it a lot more comfortable. In those first few weeks, you are going to be spending a lot of time nursing your baby, so you might as well be as comfortable as possible, and this really helps with that. The next thing is a good quality pump. A lot of times you can get a breast pump for free through your insurance, so I would definitely recommend checking that out because they can definitely get pricey. But the one that I used and actually still use is this little Medela pump and style. So it's nice and compact. It comes in this little black case. You can open it up when you need it and then store it away neatly. So I really like that. And this one has worked out great for me. But if you are going back to work, you will probably want to start pumping your milk a little bit early on so that you have a stockpile ready to go. And even if you're like me and you work from home, it's still nice to be able to pump sometimes in case you are going on a trip or someone is watching your baby. You're still going to want to have a pump for those reasons. And in my case, I had a lot of trouble with my supply in the beginning, and having a pump really saved me when I was having to supplement with pumped milk. It really helped keep my supply up as well. So I highly recommend having a good pump ready to go. Along with that, you're going to need storage containers for your milk, and most of the time your pump will come with a few bottles, so you may not need to buy those separately. Mine did come with these storage bottles that hold, I believe, 5 ounces, but if you need something that holds more, then you might need to order some different sizes. You can store them in the fridge if you plan on feeding the milk to your baby really quickly. But if you are wanting to store your milk for longer, you're going to need some freezer bags like these from Dr. Brown's. I used several different brands, and honestly, they all work about the same in my opinion, but this is just one example. And it is just a clear plastic bag. It has the ounces on it, and you can write the dates and however many ounces you're putting in the bag and put that in the freezer so you can have that for your baby at a later date. It can also be really helpful to have a manual pump on hand just in case you want to throw it in your diaper bag for when you're on the go or something like that. And you really never know how your body is going to respond to different pumps either. Sometimes I found that the manual pump actually worked better, and other times the electric pump worked better for my output. So it couldn't hurt to have a manual pump also. I had this one from Medela, and it is just a basic little hand-powered pump. It does not require batteries or electricity or anything like that. You can just use it anywhere. It might come in handy just to have a backup for your electric pump. Also, when you first start breastfeeding, you are most likely going to leak a lot. If you're nursing your baby on one side, then you'll usually leak on the other side, and so it's nice to be able to actually save that milk. And so these come in really handy as well. This is the Mommy's Love brand. There's also, I think, a Milk Savers brand, but I got these because it came with 2 and they were less expensive, and I feel like they worked just as well. The way this works is you just put it on one side while you are feeding your baby on the other side, and it helps to catch that extra milk that comes down, and you can add it to your bottles and put it in the fridge to save for later, because in the beginning all of that milk is precious and you don't want to waste any, especially if it's just going to be going into your bra or on your shirt anyway. You might as well save that milk, and this came in really handy for that in those earlier days. Along those same lines, I know when I first started, and even still, I sometimes will leak at night, and it's not so fun waking up soaked in milk. So I definitely recommend getting yourself some breast pads. I have tried 2 different kinds. These are I think they are called bamboozis maybe, but they are the fabric kind that you can reuse. And the thing I do like about these is they are super soft. They felt really good against my skin, and definitely eco-friendly because you're not having to use a bunch of them and throw them away. You just put them in the wash. But the downside to these is they are on the pricier side, and if you only have 2, like me, then when they're in the wash, if they're not ready yet for the next day, then you're not going to have anything for the next night unless you get a few sets of these. And like I said, they were pricey, so that can add up. So I did also have some disposable ones as well, like this. It comes in a little single package. You open it up and it has stickers on the back. You pull those off and stick it inside your bra, and that will help keep you dry as well. Moving on to bras, you are definitely going to want to get yourself a couple of nursing bras. I actually got a few while I was still pregnant. Instead of getting specifically maternity bras, I just went ahead and got some nursing bras so they were ready to go, and I didn't have to spend money on separate maternity bras and nursing bras. There are a couple of different kinds that you can get. This one is a little worn out, so I'm kind of embarrassed to show you, but you can see that it got a lot of use. And I still use the nursing bras now. Like I said, I'm still breastfeeding my 7-month-old, so these are something that you'll get a lot of use out of if you continue breastfeeding. So the way it works is there's just a little clip on here. You just clip it down and you have access for your baby. So these are nice and just really comfy for when you're at home. Great for just under a t-shirt. They don't show through. And I would just recommend having 2 or 3 of these so that when one is in the wash, you'll have another ready to go to swap it out with. Another kind that you can get is this kind here, and this style, just instead of having the clips, you just fold it down. So let me see if I can show you. So you would have it like this, and you can just fold it right down and you're ready to go. Another great thing about this one is you can use it to sleep in. It's really soft and comfortable, and it's nice to have those for, like I said earlier, if you're leaking and you want to put in those little breast pads, then this is a nice sleep style for that. I had to go get my son, so if you hear him in the background, then please just excuse the noise. He's a little talkative. Okay, and then finally, another kind that works great is actually not even a nursing bra, but it works well if you have a smaller chest and don't need quite as much support. Then this is a good way to go. I wore these a lot when I was still pregnant. They don't work so great for me now, but if you are someone who really doesn't need a whole lot of support, this is a great way to go. And they're really pretty and comfy, and this is just the bralette. So you can actually use one of these too and just pull the front part down, and it's almost just as good as the other kinds. Okay, and then clothing. So when you are breastfeeding, it can feel a little bit more So when you are breastfeeding, it can kind of limit what your choices are for what you can wear. So one thing that I recommend is these stretchy tank tops. So this is one, I think it's just from Target, and it's nice and stretchy, so if you want to pull it down or if you want to pull it from the side, then you can actually just put this on underneath a t-shirt in case you need to breastfeed in public. It's really discreet. You can just pull your t-shirt up and then you still have that tank underneath to cover you. Or if you just want to wear it around the house, it's great for that. So I would recommend getting a couple of these for that reason. And then as far as just breastfeeding clothing in general, personally, I did not buy any specific nursing tops because I'm working from home. I don't usually need to breastfeed in public, and so most of the time, as long as I wear something loose, like this top, there's plenty of room for me to pull it up and nurse my baby. When I was in those early postpartum days, honestly, all I wanted to wear was my husband's big oversized t-shirts, and those worked out great too because they had plenty of room to just lift up and nurse. But another great option is anything with buttons down the front, and then, like I said, just anything loose that gives you easy access. Tank tops are great in the summertime because you can just pull them to the side. The thing that I have found the most trouble with is dresses. I can't really wear the same dresses that I used to with a crew neck and maxi length because there's not really much access there. But if you opt for a dress that has buttons down the front, or you can even get specific nursing dresses that have a piece that pulls up, or like a wrap style dress that you can pull down to the side, that works great too. Another thing that comes in handy is a nursing cover. So I really like this one because it has a hole in the top, and so you can just put it over your head, and it also doubles as a car seat cover. So most of the time I actually use it as a car seat cover, but it's nice to have it handy just in case maybe you're at the park and you just need a little bit of privacy. Then this is a great thing to have on hand or in your diaper bag or something like that. Or even if you're having company over and you don't want to be exposed, this is just a nice thing to have handy. Another thing that can happen when you first start breastfeeding is your nipples can become very sensitive. Sometimes they will even crack. It's a good idea to have some kind of nipple cream on hand. The one that I used was this Boob Ease Organic Nipple Balm, but you can also just get a lanolin cream or something like that. Even a coconut oil, something that's going to help moisturize and create a barrier between nipples and your clothing, because I remember when mine were so sensitive that even the shirt against them bothered me. Even just the water in the shower touching them was pretty much unbearable, and this stuff really helped a lot. Breast milk itself can also be a very healing if you just let it dry on your nipples. But I found that it also helped a lot to have the nipple balm in addition to that. As far as supplements and things to eat when you are breastfeeding, personally, none of that stuff really made a difference for me. I tried lots of different things, from cookies to supplements, different types of sports drinks, and I didn't really find that any of those had much of an effect on my supply. I feel like the main thing is just drinking plenty of water and eating nutrient-dense foods with plenty of healthy fat, and nursing or pumping a lot. Honestly, that is the biggest thing when it comes to breastfeeding, is just making sure that you are nursing your baby frequently or pumping frequently if you're at work. From my experience, that was really what helped the most with my supply. Of course, I am not an expert. I am not a lactation consultant. I am just a mom who is sharing my experience and the things that have worked for me. So that is it for my breastfeeding must-haves. I really hope that this video helps you feel more prepared for your breastfeeding journey. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.